Hello Internet, my name is Somy Kamble. Today we'll be learning something about a UI based ML tool, that's Azure ML. So let's get started. So to start your Azure ML tool, you have to type studio.azure.ml.net, and it would be taking you to the Azure, your Microsoft Azure Learning Service screen. You have to sign in, and once you have been signed in, so it would be greeting you with your dashboard screen, and it would look like this. That's it would be giving you the list of the projects you're working on. All right, so our main goal today is learning a very basic example of a logistic regression and how we can perform it with the help of Microsoft Azure. I'm sorry. Yep. So to begin, let's click on a new experiment. Let's click on this blank experiment. So it has been improved and it would greet you with this screen. So this is your working board, or you can say your playground, where you can just drag and drop and work with the Azure ML thing. So let's get started with the logistic regression example. So for that, we would take a breast cancer data over here. We would track this, and you can drop it anywhere. If you want it over here, you can drop it over here. If you want it over here, you can drop it over here. So it's a very good practice that we should visualize the data first, so that we could take any necessary cleansing steps, or any other data related steps, or we could get an info about our data. To do that, what we have to do is just right click, go into the data set. You have to click on visualize. So it's a pretty handy tool, and you can say it's a Swiss Army knife kind of a thing, all in one. So you can see over here, if you want, you can click the age and see the visualization in there in the form of histogram. If you want to see the class, so class over here might be depicting those people who have breast cancer would be depicting as 0. uh, Sorry, those who do not have a breast cancer would be having a 0, and those who have, they would be depicted by 1. I hope you get the idea. All right, guys, so this is how the visualization has been done. So I think things are pretty much straightforward. So next step, what we do in any ML related problem is that we split our data once we have the data. So over here, what you have to type is just type split. So you have partition and sample data, or you can take the split data. Let's go ahead with the split data. Now what we have to do is we have to just take your mouse, or you can drag and drop a line from here. So over here we have the partition mode as the split rows, because we have to just split the row wise fraction of the rows. So let's take 80 to 20%, and the randomized split seed, let's put it 1 to 3. Right, so now we have splitted our data. So the very next thing what we have to do is we have to select a logistic, you can say regression model. So just type regression. So over here you would be seeing two class logistic regression. So gently drag and drop that thing over here, and this logistic regression would be applied to the train data set. So type train over here. Now you can see train model. You have to drag this thing over here. So now carefully listen to the connections that you have to make. All right. So the very first connection belongs to the training data set. All right. So we would connect that this to this endpoint, and we would drag that we need to tell that on what basis or on what algorithm you have to train the model. So we would gently put this thing over here. So now before this thing we need to select our you can say the column on which we have to perform the regression, or you can say the dependent variable. So we have to click include, or we have to select include by column names. So we would be performing a regression on the class variable, and that's the reason we have to perform the regression. That if it's 0, then it depicts that the person is not suffering from a breast cancer, or it might depict something else. And if the person is suffering from a breast cancer, then it would have the label as 1. So the next step, what we have to do is we have to score our model, and that means we have to predict the uh, model, or apply the model on a testing data set. So we will take the input, we have to give the training input, or sorry, the model input and the testing input. All right. So the only step left over here is that we have to evaluate the accuracy. Sorry guys. The only step what we have to do is we have to evaluate the accuracy of a model, how accurate our model is. For that we have a tab name as evaluate model. You can drag and drop it over here, or for consistency you can just take this input, apply it over here, and finally when you think that you are good to go, so just click it on run. And guys, this is an Azure ML, and in machine learning we are bound to have errors, maybe whatever the source is. So let's run. So it would perform the execution node wise. So so when you see this a green tick over here, that means these nodes have passed the execution test. Next, the very last step, what we are left is the evaluation of a model, how accurate our model is. So we need to check that thing. It's taking a pretty long time. I guess it has evaluated our models. So let's you can say revise what we have done. We have taken a data set, we have splitted the data set into two halves. One is training data set, another is the testing data set. Now since we want to perform a logistic regression, we took a logistic regression, you can say drag, dragged and dropped the logistic tab over here, and that logistic regression would be applied to our training model. So we have dragged and dropped a training model, connected the training data set to the training model, and we went ahead to score our model, or you can say predict the testing labels from a test data set. And the very last thing what we did is evaluated our model. So let's look at the accuracy. You have to click on this evaluation result and click on visualize. So just right click on evaluation model and you would be able to see. So this is the ROC curve. So we have got true positive, and this is the true false. If we scroll down, so we would have that true positive 52, false negative is 6, false positive is 1, and true negative is 78. So our accuracy is 94%, which is a very good accuracy. And that's all, guys. If you have any doubt, just put me any comment. You can contact me through my Skype, email me, or just put me your queries or comments, or just and you can just suggest me what should be my next video on. And there is one more interesting feature. If you want to deploy this thing as a web service, or you can say a JSON API, all you have to do is just click this setup as predictive web service, click it. You have to just sit back and relax and see the magic of Azure ML working itself on. Let me tell you guys, this is happening automatically. So now before deploying the web service, we have to give it a run. If we click this, so it would throw us an error that you must run that edits before the changes have been validated. We have to click or run the model once again. So once our model has passed the test, so you have to click on deploy the web service. So this is the API key, guys. And if you want to test the API, you can just click it here and you can go ahead with the testing. So that's all for the time, guys. You can experiment and play with different things. If you click this thing over here, it will navigate you to a different page wherein you get the API calling out in Python. See how you can consume the API in different languages again. And very last thing, guys, like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And please let me know what should be my next video, or on what topic you require the next video. I would be really obliged, and really would be happy to help you guys. Thank you and have a great day.